Hi again, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Sideline-to-Sideline on Giant TV here on YouTube. I'm Chuck LaFleur, along with our motorcycle riding dude. Maybe not right now, but one of these days, it's the one and only Ryan Fast Fleming. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good, Chuck. You know, I'm all revved up and ready to go here today. You know, we got some fantastic guests with us here today, and I'm excited to get started.
You know what? I have to ask you first off, Ryan, have you ever ridden? Are you a rider? Have you been on a motorcycle?
The last time I was on a motorcycle, I wouldn't even consider it a motorcycle. It was on a 50cc when I was about 8 years old. After that, I think I was on a quad once, and I gave it a little too much throttle, and it toppled over on top of me. So that was my motor riding experience.
Well, we've got the guys here. If you ever want to get on those wheels and take a spin, we've got some gentlemen here that might be able to help you out from the Welland County Motorcycle Club. Please welcome the President, Sean Gillespie, and Vice President and Steward, Joe Montovani. Guys, thanks so much for joining us here at Sideline to Sideline.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Wow.
We really appreciate all the, camaraderie and everything that you guys show towards us. This is great.
We see these guys everywhere. There's so many events, not only at the club and at the track, but these guys are so involved with so many different organizations and charities and that sort of thing. We could talk about that. But who's going to take the lead here and talk about the history? Because this goes back quite some ways. The history of the Welland County Motorcycle Club, long before, Ryan, certainly long before you were around, myself not so much.
That's probably correct. Yeah. So tell us, how did the MC Club get started?
Well, it was a bunch of young fellas that figured they knew everything, and they loved everybody's company and stuff like this. This was in 1946. That's when it first started, and our track started in 1970. Our first race was a TT race that had it out there, and we've been going along ever since. Other than that, we still have. We're so blessed to still have some of our senior members with us that have been there since the club started. And us. Well, I'm 72, and Sean.
I'm 53.
Sean's 53.
I'm a young in there.
Yeah, but I mean, to gain so much knowledge from these older fellas that are over there is really heartwarming for us. Right?
Yeah. Oh, I feel really fortunate. I've spent most of my time hanging out with older friends from the time I was in my early 20s, and it's sort of it's carried over now. And I hate to use the word older members, but the older members. They've always been the type to take you under their wing and really look out for you and almost mentor any of the younger guys. And it's been a great place. And you start out going there because of motorcycles. Motorcycles draw you there. You have a common love for motorcycles. But once you get in there and you meet the people, and it's what keeps you coming back. It's like they're like friends you've known all your life, even in a short period of time. It's like you've been there your whole life, and that's what keeps you going back. The motorcycles sometimes become secondary, and your friendships are what keep you coming back and keep your interest.
Yeah, it's really nice to have younger fellas like Sean to be the future of our club. Because, like I say, we're not going to be there forever. We know that, But to have the club move forward, different ideas, it's just wonderful to have that.
So I want to ask you, Sean. You guys kind of, and you touched on it a bit there too as well. But can you talk to me about the legacy? Especially you're the president now, and you said you're one of the younger guys there. What is the legacy mean to you, from the people that came before you, and what you see going forward in the future for the WCMC?
Well, it's motorcycling in general is it's a tough deal out there now between insurance and safety.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tougher ride out there. Cell phones and whatnot. I don't want to go on too much about things like that, but it's not as safe as it used to be. You have to be that much sharper than you used to be. But putting that aside, you have in our facility, for example, you walk around out there, and it's a huge property, and 99% of that place was put together by members, from many years ago. They've put this together on their own time, using their own money, using their own materials, with their own knowledge. And you walk around out there, and it still amazes me. I walk around out there, and I think to myself, boy, there's no way we could ever let this deteriorate or go down the wrong road. It should almost be a mandate that this place to continue the way it does. It brings all great people together, not just the racing, but it brings all these great people together for great causes, and it's great because you have an opportunity of a cause and something we believe in, whether it's children's mental health with dealing with Pastone and Bruce Bissell and Biketoberfest, or prostate cancer. Those are things that touch everybody, and so to continue the work there, and not just the racing and all that kind of stuff, but to continue all this other work. It also provides an opportunity for everybody to get together. Everyone pitches in, and we always joke about this word camaraderie.
Exactly.
And,
exactly.
We joke about it, but I'll tell you, that place, it's what Welland is about. There is a sense of camaraderie. Different age groups and different backgrounds and jobs people have come from. But when you get to the motorcycle club, you're hanging around, and you really have a sense of friendship and with your fellow member. And that's something that just has to continue.
We see these guys, I mentioned off the top of the show, Ryan, we see them involved with so many charitable organizations. Sean alluded to some of them. And I can honestly say that we've had the pleasure of having, on our Friday the 13th get-togethers for Port Dover, we've had the pleasure of having a lot of guys from Welland County Motorcycle Club stop by on their way to Dover. We get to see them at the Claire's Open House every spring and other locations. Hearts of gold. I just want to point that out, folks. These guys are absolutely top-notch, and they care not only about racing, obviously, but especially about kids, too. A lot of events that you guys have coming up, but Joe will ask you about some of those, too. There's so many, I don't know where to start, but what do you say we kick it off and discuss the mustache ride that you guys have?
Yeah, it was started by Jim Stokes. And it falls close to our club because majority of club members are men and everything like this. And a lot of us have gone through the prostate clinics and stuff like that. So basically that's how we got started with this. And then we teamed up with the motorcycle group for Ride for Dad. And a lot of these fellas, they ride bikes and everything like that. And I tell you, it's a great association that we have with them. Just to say they've treated us like gold. And I'm telling you, it was so we just felt so warm and welcome. And we've raised quite a bit of money for them, which helps in the research. I forget the amount that we've raised for them, but I mean it was quite substantial. And it was really great.
And I don't know who wants to touch on this one, but Ryan, there's Biketoberfest. We got to get you to Biketoberfest.
Yeah, Biketoberfest. Tell us a lot about Biketoberfest. This is a big event, and you guys have a big giveaway every year at Biketoberfest as well. Which either one of you guys, which one of you guys want to handle that and tell us a little bit more about that event and how people can take part?
Well, all they got to do is show up on the day. I'll tell you, we get between 5,000 and 10,000 people on the day that show up. We give away a Harley Davidson every year, and Bruce Bissell started this, I think it was about 16, 17 years ago, and it's just progressed from a smaller event to a bigger event, and we've teamed up with Pathstone, which is for children's mental health. And I'm telling you, those people, I don't care if you give them $1 or $1 million. They treat you just like gold. It's such a great organization, and some of my family and some of the club members' families have gone through the Pathstone system, and I tell you, it's just great. We figure if we can get the kids when they're younger and help them out, because there's so much problems in the world and so much pressures on them these days. It was a lot simpler when I was younger. But I mean, these days there's so much pressure on them, and if we can point them in the right direction, and give them some help that way. And that's why we're so proud of Biketoberfest and Passstone, because we've teamed up together with them both. I'm telling you, it's just been great.
I would say what's interesting too is when we teamed up with Bruce and Sue, his wife.
Right.
We talked about a charity, and that was suggested by I believe was John Harrington may have suggested that as the charity, and I didn't know a lot about it. It's just sort of something nobody was talking about, especially even 5 years ago, 6 years ago. But now it's on the forefront, luckily, and they have been just such a great partner to work with, and you have a really good feeling about the money that's raised. You see where the money goes, and
Exactly.
they invite us out to show us this is where the money went. Mm-hmm. We bought this van to transport children from here to there.
It was the second year, wasn't it?
Yes, it was the second year, and you really had a real sense of belonging to what they were doing. It wasn't just about giving away a motorcycle. It wasn't just about having music and all that, which is all great. Mm-hmm. But you really had a really great sense of doing something right. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to find that nowadays. And then when you see that this other group has used that money, responsibly,
exactly,
and that really helps you dig in and work even harder. Mm-hmm. And the other positive part with Passstone, for example, all their executive come out, and they are a part of the whole team on that day.
Yeah.
The
from
top.
From Kim Rossi down, right?
From Sean, their
Sean,
their head guy there, all the way down, and he just loves coming out and hanging out with us, whether it's a dinner. He's like a chameleon. This guy, he could fit in a boardroom, but at the same time, he comes down and he just hangs out and he works. The whole crew works their butts off that day, and to promote something that they truly believe in. It's not just a job for those people either. Whether it's finances or a director.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle, and they care. Those people genuinely care about what they do.
It sounds like both of you do as well as the motorcycle club.
For sure. That's our club's always been have charitable things. We had years ago was one of them was Casey Lynn and Huntington's, and we've always found something where we could do something for the community. Mm-hmm. That's what the basis of our club has been since 1946, is to give back, not only riding, because we love that. Don't get me wrong, and the camaraderie, as we say. But I mean, it's to give back to the community, which is really, really important.
Guys, believe it or not, we're just about out of time. I wish we had more time. We want to touch on Barry's Blue Balls lunch. What the heck's that all about? I saw that on the upcoming
They
event
probably
schedule.
know a little bit more of the history.
Well, the Blue Balls started when we went to the banquet, okay? And the banquet sometimes would carry over to the club. And, we'd have a few cocktails and things like that. So the people that were able the next morning would go on this Blue Balls run, which would be it's after the banquet.
Yeah, it's in November, so it's very cold.
Very cold.
Wow.
That explains a lot.
So it was kind of like a challenge, you know what I mean? To see who would show up and who was able to, and that's how it all started. But it's turned into like we've done it instead of the night after the banquet. Now we do it a week later. And the wives come and everything like that. And that's another thing I want to talk about is the wives. I'm telling you, we wouldn't have what we have now if it wasn't for our supportive wives that stand behind us 100%. Mm. These girls are just great. But the Blue Balls run, I tell you, they have a ball. We usually have it at Betty's. They treat us like gold over there. That great smorgasbord they have over there. So it's fantastic. That's how it all started, anyway.
It's about it's about hanging out together.
Exactly.
The couples get together. We all go and have a big brunch together. We ride. Most of us ride out there,
right? And
to kind of continue that tradition of riding out in the cold,
right.
Sort of a deal. And
some of us cheat though. We ride in the car.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us here and enlightening us on the great work and the behind the scenes and the history, too, of the Welland County Motorcycle Club. President Sean Gillespie and Vice President Joe Montovani. Ryan.
Thanks so much again, gentlemen, for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure. Keep doing what you guys are doing, all right? We'll definitely come out to the track and see you guys.
Yeah, you guys are always welcome. You know that? I'll tell you. You guys have always been very good to us over the years with advertising and everything like that. And you got a great radio station. We really appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
And he'll be sitting on the side.
You got it.
Sidecar.
We'll see you soon. Sideline to Sideline on Giant TV Niagara. I'm Chuck LaFleur for Ryan Fleming and our special guests, Sean and Joe. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon. And more on the Welland County Motorcycle Club coming up next time on Sideline to Sideline.